All right, I'm already exhausted and I haven't done anything yet.
I'm Foulmouth. F you, motherfucker. Quack!
Howdy there, Marty here, aka the Murdoch, and we're back in this video with another Halo figure review. We have Emile from Series 2 from Wicked Cool Toys. They're doing an awesome job on the Halo figures thus far, and I was super excited to find him and the whole wave earlier this week at Target. But we're going to be doing Emile first. He's the coolest one of the set. He looks awesome, but we have to break him open and see how cool he really is. Yeah, so super exciting actually finding the whole set here at Target. I was gonna say here at Target. This isn't at Target. It was really cool finding the whole set at Target. I didn't expect to see them. I didn't really have any expectations of when these were coming out. I don't really pay that much attention. I just showed up to the store and they had them. I'm really happy to see that it looks like they're gonna be doing one Reach character probably in each series until they finish them out. And of course, this time we're getting Emile. Series 1 had Cat, so it's pretty exciting to see Emile. So of course, we're gonna start by taking a quick look at the box. I don't really dwell on the box a whole lot because for the most part, I'm not an inbox collector. And on this series, or I should say just on the Wicked Cool Halo figures, there's not really a whole lot going on with the boxes. You know, they're clean, they're nice, you know, they're stackable. You know, if you're a mint inbox collector, you know, they would line up really nicely, and that's all well and good. I have mixed feelings when it comes to the collector-friendly boxes, mostly just because in some communities it leads to a lot of repacks and switcheroos, and I don't really like that. I think there is something to be said about, you know, the blister card design or whatever. You of course have a nice shot of the figure there. Looks cool, looks dynamic, but there's not really a description. It just tells you what the figure comes with. It says Halo, the Spartan collection, you know, Emile A239 with accessories. You get the rest of Series 2 there. Bam. Side of the box doesn't have a whole lot going on. You have the little thumbnail of him right there. The other side, you could just kind of see into the box, nothing there. Bottom of the box, literally nothing. Top of the box just says UNSC. It's rather hard to see, there you go. And of course, the front of the box there, you got his blade, you got his shotgun, you got a bunch of hands that you could swap out, you got the figure itself. That's pretty much it. It says Halo there, we love Halo, so that's cool, right? So yeah, let's just crack this guy open, take a closer look, share some thoughts, do some comparisons, and move on with our lives. But to crack him open, of course, Grandpa knife, as always. So I'm gonna be doing videos on each of these guys. I'm gesturing very wildly with a knife. It's not that close to my face, don't worry kids. But if you wanna see reviews on each of these figures, I'm gonna try to do one for each of these figures. Hopefully 2 this week, 2 next week. Make sure to hit the subscribe button just so you can come back. It's easier to find, you know, my page or whatever, just so you could watch these videos. In general, I'm gonna be doing a lot of videos on Halo merchandise leading up to Halo Infinite and then probably beyond. That's at least my plan. Halo's, you know, pretty much been one of the backbones of my channel for a really long time, and it's gonna continue to be that way. Grandpa knife, there we go. Let's crack him open. Well, first impressions, fairly positive. And on the surface, I just think in terms of the actual general look of the figure, it's pretty solid. In particular, this guy's visor is pretty sweet. You know, they do a pretty good job with the paint apps thus far, from what I'm seeing. You know, a lot of sculpted in detail. Yeah, let's just kind of mess around with him for a second. Okay, his arms will go out pretty much 90. That's generally speaking acceptable. There you go, full 360 rotation there at the shoulder. Yeah, there's a little bit of a butterfly joint in there. It's really just barely pivots on him. Head could do a full 360, rocks up and down, more than enough. Looks up just a little bit, but looks down pretty well. Right there at like the deltoid, what are you gonna call that, swivels. Has a double jointed elbow. It functions a little weird, but that's great. That gives you tons of range of movement there. Wrist swivel, they also rock back and forth pretty well. There is a little bit of a diaphragm joint but you ain't getting much out of that. His legs really don't kick back at all. So if you need his legs to like go backwards, yeah, they aren't really doing that. Yeah, they really don't go back. They do kick forward plenty, so you can do some Spartan kicks on people. Oh, I didn't even realize I was kind of making a pun there. His knees are a double jointed, ratcheted knee joint there. So that's great. It's stiff. I feel like that would actually be really good for posing. Can't quite do the splits. And then you have his ankles are on like a slotted joint, whatever you want to call that. It's not a ball joint really. Oh, kind of, it's a kind of a slotted ball joint, I guess. I always have mixed feelings on toe joints. It does rock back side to side just a little bit. Honestly, the articulation is probably more than enough. Yeah, in terms of the paint apps, you know, some of the paint's pretty good, some of the paint's pretty rough, but that fits the aesthetic okay. I like the shoulder piece. You have these like stripes that are painted on. They're a little crummy. It's been a while since I've really looked at a character model, so I don't really know offhand what they're really supposed to look like. Some ammo there on his wrist. I mean, the dry brushing, or I don't know if you'd really call it dry brushing. Some of it's a little bit piss poor. But I like all the different types of paints and molded plastics that they seem to use on this guy. It creates a nice kind of gradation. It kind of breaks up the overall look of him, so he doesn't just like look like a big gray blob. But he of course comes with some accessories, so let's take a look at those. Let's put him right there. So he comes with a lot of hands, obviously the two that are already attached to him. So attached, you get these two kind of like gun grip hands, you know, very, very, very standard gun grip hands. A couple fists, right and a left, of course, right there. Comes with slightly nicer open hands. This left hand with like the two extended fingers, it's kind of mildly open. For his blade, the kukri, is that what we call it? It's pretty soft, but the cool thing here is that you can actually slide the blade into the sheath. So that's awesome. It's all one solid, like gray, you know, dark silver, and then the handle is all just one kind of medium brown. And then of course, finally, we have a shotgun, which is a little bit nicer. I don't really like how soft the plastic is, but the shotgun itself looks all right. Unfortunately, the rest of the review station died, but we'll still take a closer look at this guy. Overall, on the initial out of package first impressions, I think he's pretty solid. I think Wicked Cool Toys thus far is doing a pretty good job, but let's take a little bit of a closer look. We'll do some size comparisons, talk about our final thoughts, and end this thing. Yeah, let's do that. End it. We'll take a look at how tall he is. He stands, honestly, just under 7 inches tall. I have a slight angle on my camera, so this isn't helping. And here he is with a standard array of miscellaneous figures. And here we have him next to a couple familiar faces. And definitely more appropriately here, we have him standing next to a couple other Wicked Cool Toys Halo figures. And here we have Emile next to the collector's edition of Halo Reach for the Xbox 360. And finally, let's put him next to this mug that means absolutely nothing and is certainly not a reference, and a bottle of rum, which actually isn't intentionally referenced at all, but hopefully these two random items give you a sense of scale for this figure. Overall, Emile's a really cool figure. Not a lot of serious complaints here. In particular, you gotta love the way they executed his visor. The face is sculpted in, it looks really good, it conveys well from the game. The one thing, if I'm gonna nitpick, is I don't love the sculpting on his gun hands, honestly, because in particular, it's tough to get a finger on the actual trigger of the gun. However, in the end, it's a really cool figure. They put a lot into him, and he might be the coolest one in this set, hence why we did this video first for Series 2. Well, that's pretty much gonna do it for this one. I sure hope you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you found it helpful or entertaining or some combination of those two things. And if you did, go ahead and hit the like button. I'd really appreciate that. If you'd like to see more videos from me, more Halo videos, unboxings, and cool stuff like that, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. As I always say, it makes me feel like I accomplished something. But otherwise, I guess I'll see you in the next one. Bye.